All right, so Sean here. So this week is the office hour. So we are working in the iteration of 2 weeks. So for this week, there is no major update, as you say. So I will spend more time on like how you can ask me any question, and maybe I will just walk through like how to build some simple workflow and how can you like getting familiar with MCP and so on. So before I'm moving to that, just to double check one more time, can you still hear me or not? Maybe just give me some thumbs up. All right, good. So let me start with let me share my screen first. Okay. Okay, I will share the screen of the Asian Fly. Okay. And I will go live. And this should show my Asian Flow account. Oh, maybe I was sharing the wrong one. Wait, sorry. Anyway, I was just sharing entire screen. From computer, yes, we do have one. Wait a second. So we have an event. So we can copy this one, event link, copy all events. Yeah, so I send you the link, this one. You can click on this one or just click in the announcement channel. You should be able to work on that. Okay, so come back to stage. So this is Agent Flow, right? So for our roadmap, that is what we are working on. So we are starting the multi-agent add-on starting from this week. We lock the timeline. If you haven't read this through, we put it here. So we are going to dev and QA for 6 weeks. ETA is June 20th. We are planning to spend around 2 weeks for SAT, which is stand for System Integration Test, because we need to make sure it works seamlessly with the current workflow and agent platform. It's going to until July 7th. For UAT, this is the beta access for the visionary partner running for 2 weeks from 8 to 21. And we hope that if everything go well, after 21, we'll spend like a week or two to fix bug and so on after the UAT. We hope that MAS add-on will be available for everyone by the end of July. For August and September, we will continuous improvement based on community feedback. And I think MAS would be pretty much solid by the end of July already. But this one is for buffer in case that we have some improvement. Because when you are purchasing MAS add-on, it's not stopping there. We will continue to improve that and increasing any like chain and so on. So that is the MAS is out. Before I moving to the next one, I would go back to Discord to see if you have any question. How can I put it here? Okay, Leah would like to speak. Okay. Okay, sure. Okay, I add Lee. If you want to come on stage, just go ahead. All right, I will go to continue. So the next update I would like to say is that we are also working on some other feature, which is like direct iFrame Embed for agent. So this one is quite most voted. So before it's going into like iFrame script only. So right now we are working on to make it an iFrame compatible so that you can create a web page in your domain and then you just embed the chat agent experience into your web page and serve it. So they will be kinds of like white labeling, so you can serve agentic flow underneath of your brand and businesses. So this is going to be available on 26, which is next Monday. Okay. We're also working on the inbound webhook listener. Currently, it's already here already, but because we have some testing. So if you go into here, you go into agentic flow, and you just create any random workflow like test webhook, and you create a workflow. Then you will be able to see that we add a new block, which is trigger. So this is actually the webhook that you can configure. You can create a webhook, and you say this is like trigger from Telegram, for example, and you choose a method pause. Depends on the authentication type. You can choose no, basic, or bearer, depends on you. And also you create this one. So after this one, it's going to give you a code. This is an example of the webhook that you are sending over, and it's supposed to sending something information. So for example, I'm going to this one. I'm going to using my terminal. I just new open terminal. I will just paste in this one, and in data, I will just say text, say hi. And I will just enter. So, okay, mail form input in token, but let's see if the workflow is triggered or not. Oh, not yet. Okay, let me try it again on this one. We are still testing this one. It's not fully available yet, but we need to create a new trigger. Let's just do a get test and run this one. Okay, and this is the new one. Click on trigger, and then we can just test. Okay, so it's saying that the workflow run ID is something and the workflow status is queue. So it means the workflow have been triggered successfully. But it's saying, okay, so it has been triggered, but the status is failed because there's some error in here because I think, yeah, this is the random error. So this is because I don't really using the post method and I don't really passing the text param in here. So we are still working on this one, but I think tomorrow you guys should be able to use that. So what does that mean? So it's a bit technical for everyone that non-tech, but it means that you can trigger your workflow from anywhere, regardless of application. And I think Telegram or maybe Discord or your own application, I think this is something that's useful for most of the people. So I'm going to go back to Discord and you can ask me question. Okay, so Tyler, this is the question for the previous question, right? Which installable on site without iFrame. The issue in iFrame is that they are basically black box to anyone is running web tracking. Widgets, yes. So the widgets is installable in script. So this is the current way of agent is working. So when you are going to the agent in here and you are publishing the agent, actually is going to using the script. So it's going to be rendered as part of your site. You just copy this one and you go into your Web3 school. Just try, for example, this one. Suppose it's going to be your site. So it's rendered. It's as part of your website. And you can just try to chat with it. I hope it's going to answer me. Okay, it's answer. So it's going to be part of your website. So widget is going to be rendered with the site. Yeah. So the iFrame is just like additional request from the customer that they would like to make the experience as native on your website and no widget and so on. Hey, Michael, you want to speak? Yes, agree.
Yes, hi Jean. Michael here from Germany. I have a question. Could you please show me how to configure MCP connection? I tried before with, I think it was Composio, but I wasn't able to finish the configuration in Agentic Flow.
See.
Maybe I made something wrong in the Composio configuration. I'm not sure. Before I did the same with PyTreme, and I think it worked for one day. And the next day, and at the moment, I'm not able to configure an MCP connection and use it inside an agent.
Okay, let me try.
Yeah.
Let me do it again. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mike, and thanks for coming from Germany on this. So let me do a very simple one. So test MCP Google Docs. Okay. So this is the simplest one that we can see it immediately. So you create a new agent in here, and then you click Add MCP, and you search for Google Docs. And it's going to filter this one, and you click Add. And it will show you this is the field and the MCP URL. So this is the most important thing that you need to know. And on the right hand side, this is actually the instruction. So you need to click on this one. It's going to PyTreme, and you need to authenticate on PyTreme because they are like the MCP provider. So they provide this connection. And you give it the account and you authenticate. And this is authenticated already. And I will copy this URL and come back to Agentic Flow. I will say MCP Google Docs, and today is May 20. And I will add this MCP here. Okay, it should be okay. So this showing here. So the MCP have been like saved into Agentic Flow, and I can add that into my agent. And remember to click save. Okay, so right now I'm going to ask the agent, hey, can you create a new Google Docs file and give me the link. Okay, so this is calling tool, and it's saying, okay, create docs file, and this is the result from the server that's saying what title you would like. So this is kind of like a debug tool, so that you can see exactly what inside, what have been sent to the MCP server, and what is this response. And I'll just say hello.
I think I made it the same way, and it worked for 1 or 2 days, and I don't know what was the reason why it's still not functional.
Yeah, sometimes this is a bit because we are using PyTreme at the MCP provider. Sometimes that they're having some problem on their side on this, but I think at the moment it's working already. So this is the new Google Docs file. So I can see in here. So let's say.
I use the PyTreme free account, but I think that's not a problem.
Yeah, no problem. This is currently free. So let me see. Okay, so let's do an insertion in here. So I will just remove this one and say, I will drag this one off a bit. Can you create a poem and append to the Google Docs? Okay, so it's going to call the tool append text. We can expand and see what is it sent. Oh, okay. Don't have permission to perform this action. Okay. And we just do it again. Okay. You can see, so the POM have been appended to the right hand side. So I can confirm that. Yes, go ahead.
How can I troubleshoot this? Should I create on PyTreme the connection again and put it again in the issue? Yeah.
So you're going over to mcp.pytreme.com and go into top right hand side, go to account, and you see that what you can do is that if there's Google Sheet going to go wrong, you disconnect it and connect it again. And if it's everything go wrong, you should rotate the server URL. But be aware about this action. If you click on rotate server URL, it means all of the current MCP connection that you have in here will invalid, and you need to delete them and also append them again. So PyTreme is managing the connection, and because Agent Flow is like the client, so we use the connection that have been provided by PyTreme. And because everyone here, so I would like to show with you as well. So apart from PyTreme, we have another provider. We call it a Composio. So you can search for MCP Composio. So this is another provider as well. They have less number of server compared to PyTreme. PyTreme have like 2,500 and something. This provider only have 100, but they are serving as a like a fallback alternative in case that PyTreme having problem. So you go here and you do the same. So for example, I'm going to go here. I will say Google Sheet. I click on Google Sheet here. I will sign in, and I will create a new account with them on this. Okay, create. And in here, I will also searching for Google Sheet, and I will create a server. And I say click next, and connect and continue. Okay, there's going to be some action that the Google Sheet have. They have 12 action. You can select all, and then you can create a server. Okay, so you copy this URL server, and then you go back into Agent Flow, and you go into maybe your agent. This would be easier because we pack everything into the agent already. So you can add MCP, and then you can search for, this is a small script. Okay, Google Sheet. Okay, you can click add, and you paste here, and you say this is MCP Composio Google Sheet, and email is sean@agentflow.ai. The reason is that because you have a workspace, right? Many people in your team going to using the same, so you can have that a naming convention, and when you add it here, you add it to agent and add, and then I will do a new chat, and I say, hey, can you create a new Google Sheet for me? What can you do? Okay, so this means that the agent currently not detecting what is this one because I haven't pressed save on this one. So normally the common error is you don't have this save yet. So I just refresh this one just to make sure the Composio is connected. Okay.
I think that's the behavior in my case. No? The agent has no connection. No? They give me the feedback, okay, how you can do it manually, the task, but the connection is not established.
Yeah, I think on Composio is a little bit tricky because they are using raw text. So you have to connect to my Google Sheet. It should calling some of the function that, yeah. So check active connection. So it's going to check So this means, so normally what I'm working with Composio, I will ask is like, have you connected? Yeah, if it's connected, then it will. Yeah, if it's not connected, and it will give me a link so that I can click on that URL and I open that and I do, yeah, help me to create a new sheet name, hello world. Okay, so it's calling tune. We can expand, see what happened. And title, hello. And this is the thing that I like from PyTreme a lot is they are returning very raw data. So it's like similar like API code that we had previously. For PyTreme, I don't like it because they are abstracting everything into kinds of like the masses. But for new people and so on, I think PyTreme is the easiest one that you can go because it's very natural. For more advanced user, you can use Composio because you can control a lot of things and very precisely as well. Yeah, so that normally how it works on the Composio and PyTreme. Other than that, you can also go into mcp.zapier.com. They also having the MCP, but they are freaking expensive. They also having only 200 core per month, and I don't know how can we survive with 200 core per month. And so you can go into active piece MCP. I think they also having 280 MCP where you can also connect and use as well. So we MCP client model context protocol, we are top 3 in here. You can see agentic flow here. So we work with MCP provider. As long as they are compatible, you can use that, and you just using the same way that I just used. And firstly, my experience is to talk to the agent, check the key connection, and then later you can distill into your workflow.
Great. I will try to delete the old connections and create them again, and then connect them to the agent. I hope it works. Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome, Michael.
Great.
Yeah, and also because during the week I also received a lot of customer support. Mia also respond me, saying that you're having some trouble in the workflow creation in workflow. The reason is that using MCP in workflow is quite tricky. You need to ensure the connection is correct. You need to choose the correct connection, and also you need to instruct it right as well. So the process to come up with this one, I would suggest that if you are not knowing what you do, you don't start with workflow first. I will start with agent. So I will show you what I mean by that.
I'll only try with the agent there.
Yeah, you should try with agent first. So like I try Google Docs, MCP, and I will just add here. I have no idea what is this MCP is about, but I just add the MCP Google Docs here, like this one. And I just add, and I save. Because I have no idea, so I will just ask the agent, hey, help me create new Google Docs file. And then the agent, because they are smart, so they know what to do.
Okay.
And they choose the correct tool. Because in here, in Google Docs, they have like auto, I will show you. So they have like Google Docs along only a tool, but there's some MCP that have like 30 or 70. So you will not knowing that. Then you will like, okay, just say hello world. Okay, so it will create this Google Docs for me, and it should work. So right now, for example, I'm doing something that not seem normal. Like I would like to add an image to this one. So because I have never worked with Google Docs MCP before, so absolutely I don't know how to do it. So normally what I will do is I will add the agent to do it for me. So I will equip the agent with a new skill, generate AI image first, and I click save. Then I'm going to do this one like, hey, I add a new skill to you. Can you generate a cat pic? Yeah, upload to the Google Docs file you just create. Okay, let's just drag here and see whether the agent is knowing what to do. So it's going to do it. First one is run tool, create an image. Oh, nice cat pic. Okay, and then it will choosing Google Doc append image. Out of curiosity, it picked the right one. I don't even know that this one before, and you see, it's here. And that is the process that you're working with agent to know what this tool is about, and you expand this one and you see this is the instruction that is sent to append image. And if you want to replicate this process, I would suggest you to copy this instruction. You go into your workflow and you will say Google Docs MCP in workflow replicate. And oh, I'm sorry, I think I was taking the wrong one. I just be workflow. Okay, Docs MCP. Okay, let's remove this one. And I will search for MCP. So, firstly, in order to use MCP in workflow, you first need a connection. So you select the connection. I will select the one that I just connect, which is this one, Google Docs. And because there's a lot of action in here, sometimes I don't know what to do with it. But because I worked with my agent before, so I know that what is the right tool that my agent should do. Yeah, it's using Google Docs append image. So if I would like to replicate this process, I will choose append image. And then if I would like to make the instruction again, I will copy this one and I will copy this instruction. No, not only this one, only this part. And I will paste this instruction here and press save. Now I'm going to run and I will see whether it can append to my image or not. Okay, I saw the change. So it looks like it is successfully append. But where is it? Let me see. So it's append the text. So that is how you can mimic the way that you working with agent to pick the correct tool. And later on, if you would like to have something that reliable, that running over and over again, you can create an MCP action and you can name it like append image to my Google Docs. And you save it. And because this one is able to accepting the parameter from user input or the previous step as well. So for example, like generate image here, I will add a previous step that's generate image, and I will just referring to that image. So instead of like the fixed hardcode image here, I will just using the output from the upstream stack. I need to reference to this text generate underscore image. And I think they showed me something else as well. Well, I need to connect a connection, and I will just take the user input from the top, and I say not set for work. Click save. Okay, let me just try first. Go into cat. Is here. Okay, this append image to Google Docs is throwing error because there's no picture in here. So how can we take the parameter of the generate image? So this is a trick steam from last one. So this is the web URL. So we copy this one and we are pasting back to this parameter. Okay, just paste here. So this is telling the MCP action that upload the image from the following URL to my Google Docs file with the ID and also the image URL. Instead of like a hard-coded one, it should taken from the step that it have been done in here. So that is how you connect the step. And let me do it again. I will just come in here and say, okay, monkey, and I will click run. Okay, there should be a monkey have been generated, and then there will be append image to my Google Docs. And let me see on the right hand side. Okay, it says succeed. Let me see if any monkey. Okay, so we have my monkey here. So that is how you connect your agent to MCP, and you use the MCP in workflow, and also you pipe the data from previous step into your MCP. All right, I think this is a bit like detail. This session is recorded so that you can watch again, but I'm going to go back to this one. Okay. How much is the capacity of product knowledge? So the product knowledge depends on the package that you were in. So if you go into here, and you will see that there is a. So if you are in tier 1 and 2, you map to Pro. So you have 100 MB of knowledge. And if you are like tier 3 and 4, you are mapped to here. You have 1 GB of knowledge. So this knowledge is not the file size. It's actually the knowledge itself. So for example, like a PDF file, we're extracting the PDF file, we're getting like 3,000 words. And then we're using that one, we vectorize that. This is a term of like transform into something that OEM can understand and also can find that easily in their latent space and then retrieve. So every word is going to transform to some byte of data, and it will consume of that one. But I think the 100 MB is quite a lot. And for 1 GB of knowledge, you can say is like few hundred books on something. There's a lot of data, and you can always like buying extra knowledge with 100 GB USD per GB, and this is one-off operate for your workspace. Okay, what happened when you click train? So what happened? So we are going to embedding the data. That is the technical knowledge. So we are going to using model that transform from text into vector. And that vector is going to be used by the agent. When you ask it the question, it will do some knowledge retrieval, and it's going to get the data doing kinds of semantic search. So if you go into your agent here and you will click on this one, you will see that is a setting. It was saying that the search strategy is hybrid, semantic, or full text search. Full text search means you type a word, it matching exactly that, and it retrieve back. Semantics mean is the meaning, like even like you are not saying exactly this is the orange cat, but you mention about the cat that with like very naughty and so on, it will know because in the vector space these two words is very close together. There is some relationship between them that have been trained to like millions of documents, so they know the relationship so that they can retrieve that back. Yeah. Okay, let me go back. So this GB is per workspace. So when you are going here, everything is centralized into workspace level. So your subscription is workspace level. And if you have like 10 people working on the same workspace, they are sharing the knowledge cap of that workspace. Okay, the import flow from NAN TPs would be awesome. Yeah, this afternoon, I think someone was sharing that nice question. So there's something we have to deep dive. Technically, we can do because we are building kinds of like agent copilot. So this copilot is going to able to help you to answer the question and also replying and construct the first workflow for you. And adding some more information like NAN JSON is actually helping the agent to understand what you want better. And it will try to find the closest things in agentic flow to replicate that. So if you notice on my AppSumo message, actually I do nothing much. I just copy your question, I paste to the agent answer, I would just paste back. Yeah. So that's it out in how Copilot. Okay, upload 10 PDF, 3 stay in the orange file is not complete content. So only this one, at the moment there is not complete content. I think this may be a bug. If you possible, please have to drop that into the group so that we can investigate on that. Okay, so share template that use popular MCP that you can replicate process. Yes, I think in my YouTube channel we have there's a lot of things to cover. Our team is quite spread around. So I would suggest that if you need something, I would suggest that you do the tutorial. Please have to upvote to some of the item in here so that we will prioritize based on this one. I will just drop this link into the group so that we can be. Any tips for the agent assistant? So at the moment, we're still working on that. So what we are doing is that we compose everything that we know about agentic flow into a file. And that file we call llm.txt. So that file is 500,000 token, and it contains everything, like 2,000 MCP, 10,000 document, and everything. So we'll put that into, yeah, I think there's nothing to hide, right? So I'm going to put that into the chat box, and so that you can, my suggestion is, let me see what we can do. So I'm going to use AI Studio, and this is the by Google. So you really should go here, and you should choosing the Gemini 2.5 Pro preview on this one, and then you should drop the file from Agentic Flow. So I will drop the file, but I will stop sharing screen a bit just to, yep, give me a second. Okay, I share my screen again. You should be able to see my Google Studio page. So this is the knowledge file, 672,000 token that we extract all of the knowledge of Agentic Flow into this file. And then I will just drop everything to Gemini. Say, remember. And we just wait a second and see what it can do. And this is going to be kind of like your hands-on. You can download this file. You can drop to your Google AI Studio. It's kind of like a portable AI Copilot. While waiting for us, because we are going to cook that into native in Agentic Flow. But if you cannot wait, you can use this one, and it's going to consider all of the information. Okay, so it's starting to remember. So if there's someone that having any question in here, can you just drop so that we can test together whether agent is make sense or not make sense? And see. Okay, Ava, you have time logged on my account. Somehow I had logged my account. It say. So this is a common issue that some of you are having. Actually, our system is consider Gmail account and email and password are two different accounts. So upon activation, if you are using your email and password, and later on you log into your Gmail, it actually considered two separate accounts. And the only way that you can do is you can log into the original account that you have, and then you can have access. Or maybe you can, if you would like to do some kinds of merging and so on, or transfer, you can send an email to us, and we can help you do that. Okay. Yeah. So this is, it's actually the same. The knowledge is going to be put on the Postgres. All right, I think I was just asking this some question. Okay, hey, need help to scrap web page policy it in and post to Pinterest. Yeah, I will ask the agent, and it should be able to extracting all of the knowledge in order to help me to build on Agentic Flow. Okay, so it will start to decomposing the task. Gemini 2.5 Pro is good, and also they are having some free requests, 25 requests per day. So I think this is quite good. You guys can use that. So as you can see in here, it's starting to answer. So it will ask me to connect to Pinterest MCP connection, and if it even give me the link so that I can open to my Pinterest on Agentic Flow. And then it even like go into like file crawl, and this is workflow step. So it will ask me to create image to URL, and what is the field input look like, what is the board ID, pin link, and the scrap web page, and also the node type. All right, maybe let's try together on this one. I'll try to follow the suggestion from agent and see how is it debugging. Okay, let me create a workflow first. Any other question? Yeah. So we still need to cooking on this document. Later on, this is a public document actually. So later on, you can go into agenticflow.ai and /llm.txt, and you will get that. And also you can download that file and you can compose to your website. Currently, we're still doing the cleanup because this is quite huge document, and some of the knowledge that we are not sure yet whether it is accurate or not. So we're still doing some cleanup. But the idea is that this file is going to be a live document. It's going to be updated every week when we ship new feature and so on. We will have our agent that reading our change request log and writing to that file. so that later on, if you have your agent that download from that file, it will have the own latest knowledge by the that is it released. Okay. Okay. So so the multi-agent plan. So I mentioned about that in the beginning of the call, but I will happy to repeat it again. So this is the multi-agent add-on. So the plan is we are currently in dev and QA, so we have a separate work stream solidly for that. We have people working on that alone. On SAT, and we have SAT means system integration test. We're starting to, after the dev and QA finish, we will spend 2 weeks for that, and we finish around July 7. UAT means user acceptance test, and this is mean like the beta access for visionary partner is going to run it for 2 weeks from 8 to 21 of July. And everyone is going to be able to have access to the FMAS as on by the end of July. For August and September, we will reserve that for any bug fixing or enhancement, feature requests, and so on for MAS alone. But MAS will be continued to improve. Okay, let's go back to this one. Another question? Some of the use case. So I think you definitely should go into our web page, Agentic Flow, MAS pre-order. So I have a good video that explaining about this. Hello everyone, Sean here from Agent. So the biggest problem that why you need a multi-agent system is that, let me expanding this one or not. Everyone can still see the MAS. Yeah, so let me answer one question by one. The agent is going to be impacted by the number of tools that you equip to it. And the more you add to the agent, the performance decrease. So the best one is that we only equip around 9 tools to the agent, no more. And because we have some very complex feature in the system, so if only 9 tools, you cannot do much. Because let me show you how many tools that other system have. Okay, so if you go into agenticflow.ai MCP, and you just go into, for example, Stripe. Stripe have 45 tools. And you can see that you even cannot fit one agent to Stripe. So even Stripe agent alone cannot functioning well because this is have too much. So if you would like to have a really reliable system, you need multi-agent system. So that is my conclusion. Okay. And I think the second question from you is, what is the benefit pre-order? Yeah, so the pre-order is ending 8 hours, so you get like 20% off of the post pre-order price. So after this countdown ends, it's going to turn into 240 for the next year. Okay. And are we able to put agent behind paywall if we want to sell them to business? At the moment, we don't have this feature yet, but we can to explore. You can raise a request to our roadmap, and after we can allow you to put a Stripe link or something to unlock, and so on. Okay, yeah, that is a work on marketplace. That's useful as well. So we can need more information, and how we can scope this requirement. Feel free to raise this requirement into our roadmap, and marketplace is here. Anything. I mean, not only about the marketplace. Just drop everything that you would like to raise in here, and I will read it. Actually, I visit multiple times a day to read and also to explore new idea and so on. We build community first. What about MCP connected agent? I mean, this is a best practice. How many MCP should be connected? So one MCP actually having many tools, and the limitation is the number of tools, not the number of MCP. So if you have only one MCP and that MCP having 45 tools, your agent will not functioning well. So that is also one of the features that we would like to build, which is this one. But I think that you guys will not aware about this yet. It's the filter. Then I would like everyone to vote on this one, but no one understands. So MCP has too many actions, will cause the agent confused. Best number is 7 to 9 tools for agent. So we need to have a permission control so that agent should have read action and write action. So for example, like Stripe MCP, they have 45 tools, but we only would like to have the agent can read my Stripe. I don't want them to create a payout to someone else, right? How can I do that? So we need someone to this. So if you really need this one, you definitely need to vote to this one. Only 4 people vote, and that is quite of like saddened me. Okay, that is very important. Yes, correct. From my perspective, that is very important. Yeah, select the tool so the agent functioning better. So you don't even need MAS to have a very good agent. Okay, thanks, David. Currently export an agent workflow as API to embedding website. Yes, it's already there at the beginning. So we have an GitHub repository. Wait, I saw the agent. I'm going to ask the agent copilot, and I will ask this how to come back with. Yeah. Let's see what is it come back with. Is it a good agent or not a good agent? Let's see. Okay, so I think it has the knowledge already. So you can embedding direct with the chat widget with script tag. We know that. And on API, you can join using our agentic boilerplate. And for workflow, you can make a HTTP request to our workflow with this one. You can your API key from here. You click on this one. You go into API key, and this is your API key. You create this key, and on here you can using with our GitHub boiler source code in here. We public that so that you guys can have a good start. If you have like cursor or something, let him work together on this one. Oh, and maybe it's good as well. You can pipe them up with my llm.txt file. So API key, yes, credit, use it. And so everything in interaction is going to charge to your account. Okay. So we don't export an API, but we will having the API and also function so that you can call and trigger. All right, good. Okay, how to deal with agent not knowing what action to use without having to prompt the right action. Yeah, so the question is, you will need to instruct the agent to give it into the correct way, because agent is kind of like a child and they don't know what they don't know, right? So you should instruct them in a way that a human will understand. And my suggestion to you is, you should, whenever that you're working with agent and MCP, you should go here. You will see what action this MCP have. And the best way is that you copy this one and then you paste to the agent, say, hey, create a payout for me. And if the agent is stuck totally, you go into this document. Sorry, am I still? Okay. So let me see. Okay. Sorry, I was accidentally put this. So you go into this one, and this is the docs of the stripe.com and cancel. You copy the payload to the agent. Just copy this one and you paste to the agent. You copy the response, paste to the agent. So just like you're working with like a very smart child but don't have information, you ask it to do. You give it some example, and maybe you can try some smarter model as well. You can try and change this one into something that's smart. For example, like 3.7 Sonnet or 4.1 Mini and so on. So they are smart. So they should be able to solve complex problem. So, and also they having the best way to solve, and they have very high chance that they pick the right tool when you are working with them. Yeah. What is the next question? So the background image and font size. Actually, this one is going to be supported by the platform. So I'm going to roadmap. I'm going to this one. I will remove this one. So we have a feature. We say color, style, and images. So this one is supposed to finish today, but because we are too busy on the inbound, so a little delayed on this. But you can go here. Oops, sorry. You can go into this one. Yeah, you can follow this color style. So we are allowing you to modify some part. If you would like to make some change that haven't been mentioned in this ticket, please modify. So I'm thinking that we can customize the color, the style, how is it showing, and also like even the button. Maybe you can swap it your logo, for example. Give idea and push to that ticket. We will fix that. Yes, so the prompt too long, and that is the problem. So yesterday I think Arvin also pointing out this one. So you go in here, you will see that the agent will have some input and output here. I think that your problem is going to be related to this one, and your max input token is very low. For example, like only like 1,000 or something. Yeah, 2,000 or something. and then your prompt is very, very long, and you click save on this one, so it will cause error. So my suggestion is you go in here and you turn off and you save. So it will use the whatever the default value of your model. So maybe 4.1 will have different default value comparing to other, but if you don't over that cap, you should be okay. But don't put it like only like 1000 or something, because it's when it's too low, easily you will just fail. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I hope that clear to you, Primo. Yeah, so we have 1 minute and more. So I'm not sure if you guys would like to have something, but well, how can I? So this is the workflow that Wendy, will make this afternoon. So she was sharing with me, I think. So you can clone and edit this one. So this workflow is going to do the user input, which is the website. It will scrap the website. It will policing the LinkedIn post, Facebook post. It will trying to post to LinkedIn using MCP. And also it will doing some other MCP action as well, like click to Facebook post.content. So we are running out of time in order to run this one, and connection as well. I think when Wendy makes a successful need run on this, it's quite straightforward. But I think this is something that you can try at home. Okay. Can I have CNAME if I want to share the page to other people? Dingjing, can you say it again, or what do you mean by that? So the different domain URL. I see. So at the moment, it's not supported. So currently, is we package everything under agenticflow.ai and /app. So making the domain and subdomain configuration is not something that we can do in short term, because the way the system is setting up. But I think the workaround is that you can using the iFrame to embed it to your own website, so that it will pack everything under to your website. Yeah, I mean, I think that is very good. So we will have we will try to give you something every week on this one, and you can try and play around with that, and perhaps that we can fix on the. So Jaylee, yes. So emoji to video, I have an internal ticket for that, but because right now we have a lot of like incoming support requests and so on, so it has been a bit like lower priority. I think we can work into that in a couple, like a week or two. Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, so thanks everyone for attending on this one. I hope that is meaningful for you. And this week is not much feature update and relive, because we are still in the middle of sprint. We are working in two-week sprint. But next week should be having more information and more cool feature. You can check it in our roadmap on whatever that we are doing. And feel free to raise more feature requests. We will try to review it and upload. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good day, and yeah, or evening, afternoon, everywhere you are. In the future, do you have reselling on? Can you elaborate more? Yeah, I will answer this last question. Reselling to, so it's mean like, oh, how can I frame it? How can I frame like white label? So actually, how should you say? Agentic Flow is the SaaS edition, is the version that you guys are using. So my business is enterprise edition. So I'm doing reselling, but selling to enterprise. So it's enterprise edition of Agentic Flow. I sell it for 50K a year minimum, and setup fees and so on. So we also having some of the affiliate program for the SaaS edition. If you interest, I would just drop you a link. But at the moment, I only invest my effort into two areas. So one is to continue to update the SaaS edition of Agentic Flow. Oops, not this one. Yes. So I'm continuing to update the SaaS edition, because it's always like pioneer and everything. And later like quarterly, we will pick the feature that validated by community by the need, and we will pack that into our enterprise edition, because enterprise needs stable security and so on, so it's a little slower. So overall, it's going to be one product, but with 2 the addition. Somewhere in between, I haven't like think about it yet, but I'm happy to talk about that. Just send an email to support@agenticflow.ai, and I will read with that. All right, so 4 minutes over. Thanks everyone for coming. I will see you next week. Bye bye.